our next speaker is a great friend of mine, a great organizer here in Portland. I don't see her. Where is she?
Right here.
Rebecca. Yeah, if Rebecca could come up. Yeah, so great organizer here, and I could say a bunch of great words, but she's going to do it herself. So.
Okay, I need to grab my on my back.
So Rebecca is an organizer from PDX Trans Pride, and I think it's important for all of the most marginalized communities, the people that are going to be most affected by a Donald Trump presidency, that we all stand up for these people, right? And it has so much more to do than just basic support. It's so much more than just basic support. It's also safety. It's listening, right? The biggest thing and why I think Donald Trump was elected is I think our country really needs a healthy dose of empathy, right? It's not easy to come out and say you're a victim. It's not easy to say, yes, I feel like I'm a victim of racism or homophobia or these types of things. So when someone says they're a victim of anything, you need to listen. And that's what we're here to do today, right?
Thank you, everybody. My name is Kat, also Rebecca Brewis, and I'm the Executive Legal Director of PDX Trans Pride. Even though that sounds really privileged, being an Executive Legal Director, I have institutional knowledge, and yes, I do possess white privilege. Nevertheless, I'm a trans woman. One of the things that I endure on a daily basis is discrimination. Microaggressions, misgendering, transphobia, exclusion. Anyone within our community who's LGBTQIA endures this, but especially more so transgender individuals and transgender women. People want to know why I come out in protest, and hopefully this is working. This is why I come out in protest. This is my hair. This isn't a wig. This was pulled out of my scalp last April by a group of women, no less, not even just men. Privilege runs in so many different directions and intersectionally. I'm committed to getting rid of transphobia for the sake of our community. Just yesterday, as I got out of the movies watching Rogue One, I keep wanting to say Saga One, Rogue One last night, I got out, watched it for a few and a half hours, and I went to go catch a bus. Along the way back, I grabbed some Wi-Fi real quick because my phone's not on right now. And so I got my bus route. On the way back, I was encountered by 3 male individuals this time, said that, "You're a man, you're a man, you're a man," as I crossed the street. And I ignored it, but they continued, "You're a man, you're a man, you're a man," and I ignored it. It continued and continued. When you push someone against a wall, they snap. And that's it, game over. I snapped about 2 minutes after, and they ran. I took off. I decided to fight back in my way. Usually I don't do that, but I chased them down and they ran. They ran and they took off like they saw a ghost. But there's a point where we, even though I am nonviolent, we have a time where we have to push back. We have to fight back. We can't just lay down and take what's given to us. And not only that, just because we have groups of people who are saying that they are in solidarity, it doesn't mean that everybody is in solidarity, neither. A moment after that happened, another group said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, no, not really." And I explained what happened, and I was still in a rage, and I had a fit, and I kept going on and on. And I finally found my route and everything. But just as I was getting from that group, they said, "Bye, faggot." So now I'm a faggot too. And that was from the group of people who had said that. It is really important for us within our communities to police each other, no matter what intersection you may be, no matter what privilege, no matter who you are. Black lives matter, trans lives matter, Native lives matter. Don't tell me all lives matter, because we know what that's about. One of the things that I do proactively instead of reactively throw out a few things about our community. 46% of us, this comes out from the U.S. Trans Survey this year. We've had a long study, and finally the results came out just this week. And so this is all new statistics. I'm going to throw out a few. 46 of us were verbally harassed in the past year, 9% physically attacked in the past year, 10% sexually assaulted. We have 3 times higher than employment rate than the US population, 15% versus 5. 2 times higher poverty than the US population, 29% versus 14%. Homelessness, 12% homeless in the past year, 30% homeless in lifetime, and 40% LGBTQ youth are homeless at any given basis on any given night in streets of Portland and anywhere. Lastly, 8 times the amount, there's a lot more, it's about a 200-page report. 8 times serious psychological distress in the US population, and 9 times the amount of attempted suicide in lifetime than US population. And I didn't come out here to just complain and make everybody feel sad, sorry, and shame. There are actually things that we can do on a policy basis. Part of that is that we are part of an alliance with PDX Resistance, and we're really honored to be a part of that alliance along with Portland Tenants United and other really exceptional great groups that really help propel the liberal values that we need, the resistance that we need to withstand in this city. As Gregory McKelvey has spoken, to be a beacon of light, we need to do that. We have power in through our policy development, and PDX Trans Pride this year in the Oregon legislature, we have defined 12 policy priorities, and we're working in a concert of over 20 other organizations across the state. This isn't just us, but we are the only organization out of those 20 organizations. When we had that meeting, we're the only one that had 12 policies. We had one other organization with one policy that barely touched LGBTQ. If you want to hear what real LGBTQ policies sound like, if you want to hear what a real organization is really going to stand up for in this state, if you want to know who's going to support trans rights, if you want to know who's going to stand up for LGBTQI rights in this state, you better look at PDX Trans Pride, because we're not messing around. We're not messing around, and it's not just me. We have many, many volunteers. We have many staff. We're not staffed by attorneys, but we have many volunteer attorneys as well. We're just getting this off the ground. Just this last week, Basic Rights Oregon fired their policy director, from my understanding. We know that it's not just, we know where the cuts happen first when these things are under attack. We have to do what we can to pull our resources statewide and do whatever we can, and whatever reason anything happens, when we have these losses in our community, we have to fight back in any given way that we can. Some of the policies that we are proposing: simplify processes for attaining birth certificates, driver's license, and other forms of identification that reflect an individual's correct gender. Family law protections that make sure trans parents are not discriminated against in adoption, divorce, and custody cases. Non-discrimination protections in banking, lending, insurance, and other private sector services. State insurance provider plans should explicitly cover hormone therapy, facial feminizing surgery, counseling, any other surgeries, and if not readily available, dedicate funding through compulsory waivers to out-of-state services within 90 days. reduce state residency requirements instituted by DHS and DMV for sanctuary status citizens under immediate fear or threat of persecution based on being transgender LGBTQIA. PDX Trans Pride also fights, and I'm going to cut these down, I won't get them all out, but if you want to see all these policies, they will be placed on our website. We haven't placed it out there yet, but we have to run a few more things through our board and so on. But last, a few really important ones that we really have a lot of power over. PDX Trans Pride fights for protection from harassment and violence, or excuse me, that's a little bit off. The Oregon Department of Education, May 2016 recommendations should be codified as Oregon law as well, and not just best practice. They should be required in all schools and public bodies. We should also legally require jails and prisons to use an individual's gender identity and emphasize their physical safety when deciding where to place incarcerated persons. And lastly, but definitely not least, set down a law that transgender youth in Oregon's beleaguered foster care system have the right to live in ways that respect who they are. Foster parents should receive appropriate training, and foster care workers should use a child's gender identity and not assign gender when making placement decisions. I say thank you everybody for coming out here. I know we all want to march and really take some physical action, get going, thank you for coming out here and support us in any way. If you could go to PX Trans Pride, like us, you'll have higher odds of seeing us in the future again. We're also on Twitter, so just go up on PDX Trans Pride, and thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you for being here.